Hello Taurus, Taurus Sun Moon Rising. I'm here to do your autumn equinox reading, general overview of different areas of your life. We're going to look at your approach and your attitude this season, like your overall energy, how you'll be approaching situations in your life. We're looking at your home, your work, your sense of security, material world, and your emotional life, whether you're single or coupled. And we're going to clarify with the tarot. At the end, I'm going to pull a wild offering card to give you a message to meditate on or some type of inspiration, something from spirit. All right, let's begin. We have your overall energy, Taurus. Two of clubs, two of wands energy with the Five of Hearts, Five of Cups energy. So, with this being the overall energy, Taurus, I feel for some of you, you may feel like you chose the wrong path. This feels like, as well, some of you may just feel like communication is experiencing some type of breakdown in some area of your life, or I feel it's a miscommunication. You might find yourself in situations where there's a lot of miscommunication. You feeling like you're not being understood or heard, or like your point isn't getting across in some way. And so some of you just may feel some regrets for a path that you chose based on what someone else suggested to you. I'm getting this sense of like you consulted with someone about something recently. It could have been something career related, or what to do with about a relationship, or about a living situation. And the advice you were given, I feel like you maybe took heed to it, but then you're now kind of regretting it. Like there's something here where you feel like you need to move forward, but in some ways kind of course correct the path that you chose for yourself in some way, like making the best out of it because you chose it and you're in it. But as well, I just feel like some of you just may feel like you're misunderstood a lot in this season. And it just may affect how you relate to others, or some of you might go silent, or just feel like communicating is not worth it right now, like for some situations. Okay, yeah, like something feels like it's not your season, like it's your time, like your time has either passed or it's yet to come. And there's this mode where you have to surrender to the experience and the path that you chose for yourself. You have to surrender to it, and it's kind of coming to grips with it and accepting it, and trying to gain some enlightenment or get another perspective about it. But I do feel like for many of you, you'll feel like your world is much different this season, and especially different than what you expected it to be. So some of you just may very well take a time out from communicating with a lot of people, especially if there's like you fail to see eye to eye, or it just like communicating doesn't seem to resolve the issue. You just may take a time out and just surrender to the experience of needing some time to just let time pass, and not let time pass like you do nothing in the meantime. It's important for you to gain a new perspective, and you will be seeing your world through different eyes. And as well, just some of you too just may feel like you need to make a sacrifice of some things based on the path that you chose. Okay, so this may be a month of letting go, or a season of letting go and surrendering to the situation that you're in some way. Like in some ways you may feel a little bit out of control, or just again a timeout from communicating, or and some of you just may feel disappointment over just a circumstance beyond your control, where you and someone, where there was a lot of activity and communication and talks about. I also feel like for some of you who were making plans with someone in particular as far as a partnership, plans have changed or will be changing in this season. You're not going to be going forward as of yet. It doesn't mean it isn't going to happen with them. It just means that there needs to be a timeout. Some things need to be adjusted, or just more needs to be figured out on your own, outside or away from this person or away from this individual or situation. Okay, let's move on. Your home, family life. We have the Eight of Spades with it's Eight of Swords, Justice energy, and we have the Four of Spades, Four of Swords, Death energy. Okay, so for some of you, I do feel like this is an indication that for many of you, there's some of you are going to be dealing with a legal situation around your home. It also may be a time where you are very much a homebody. It's a time for you to rest, but some of you too may be trying to get out of a lease early, or a lease is ending, or there's some major change where you may just feel like it's time for you to move. Maybe moving in October or Libra season. Libra season might give you that feeling that it's time for you to move on and change, make a drastic change with your home, with the death energy, but also with the Four of Swords. It gives me the sense that for many of you, your home will be a place where you're able to clear your head, clear your mind. If you don't live alone, that's something where you will be kind of seeking that solitude and rest. And for some of you, there could be a Libra that you're not talking to, or that goes silent, or you go silent with, and it ends, or there's again some other agreement or living agreement that ends. If you are living with someone, I feel like that's, again, there's something here where it's like you set on a path with someone and now you're seeing things differently and you're kind of disappointed. You're not, like, things aren't, like, something has not met your expectations with a partnership, with this Two of Clubs. That's telling me. So it very well could have to do with, like, your living situation or a relationship where you were discussing living together. And I just feel like for many of you, you just might feel, some of you might feel stuck where you are. And in that process, there's some type of transformation that you will be going through. And we got the Knight of Swords. Okay, so I do feel like, yeah, this is something here where there's a determination to move or change your living environment. Some of you, it's like a whole nother city or a whole nother state. And for some, it may even be a whole nother country. You just feel like, for some of you, that it's some of you may feel like where you live, you're at a dead end and you have to do something about it. And you're using the power of your mind and as well meditation to get the answers that you seek as far as the direction that you need to go in. If you're not in a position where you're moving, or you do feel like you're fine where you live, there does seem to be this sense that that something is changing within your home and or family environment. What it could be a number of things. There's a lot of, with the Spade and Sword energy, it just kind of gives me this sense of like you're going to be in your head a lot, like you're present but you're not present, like even with family, and like gatherings and things like that. You may or may not attend, like you might be invited, but you might feel like you don't have time for it, or you have other things that you need to do with this Knight of Swords energy. And for some of you, it just may feel like it's time for you to cut someone in your family off. You might just feel like it's the right time for you to just be silent, like, you know, you're blood related, but that doesn't mean you have to have. So any of you felt like you were stuck or obligated to deal with a family member just because they're your family. I feel like in the fall or autumn season, you'll be realizing that that's not true. You can change that if they're toxic to you, or they just make you feel like crap. Even though they're your family, I feel like you may be cutting that association off, and not playing nice, in a sense. Like you will be silent to anyone who's attempting to kind of limit you or keep you, like they have one idea of you and maybe you're going through changes, and you're trying to grow, but they may be very stuck in their head about who you are, and changes that you're making just may be something where you're growing apart from someone, or just realizing that it's best to not communicate, like remain silent. Again, too, with the same energy, that kind of coincides with that a little bit. And some of you, you just may not, you just may be so busy with work that and traveling that you're not home a lot. You just, your space may just be a place that holds your stuff, and you go there, and you rest once in a while, but then you're off. You're off traveling, and it could have to do with work. So some of you may travel for work. Also, because I'm looking into your work environment, or your work energy, and it's 9 of Clubs, Sun with the 6 of Spades, 6 of Swords energy. So I do feel like for some of you, work will be a source of happiness for you and healing, and kind of helping you to feel like you're being productive, but also moving on from difficulties. Like what you pour into your work is going to be your life, in the sense of it helping you to move on from difficult times. Of course, when you work, you make money, but also there's the sense of you having a peace of mind away from like personal problems. I feel like for many of you Tauruses, you will be pouring yourself into work. And now for some of you, this could indicate a vacation that some of you are going to take in the autumn season. Okay. Yes, I do feel like some of you will take a break. You've been working and going and going and going and going with this 9 of Wands energy, and now it's going to be a time for you to make, like, you're going to get an opportunity to kind of pause and go on some type of trip. And I'm also seeing for some of you, if you were planning a trip with someone, that's not going to go through. You're going to change your plans, and you may just go it alone. But for some of you as well, there could be an opportunity at a distance for you. For some of you, there could be something here where you can be a digital nomad, maybe work from anywhere and still get your work done. But for others of you, I do feel like it does involve travel, some type of career that involves travel. If not, you are going to be taking some type of respite from your normal work schedule and the daily grind that you've been on. Some of you can meet someone at someone significant. You might make a connection with someone in a working environment, but it'll just be that connection. But there's going to be something about it, like you were meant to meet this person, because they're going to say something to you that illuminates something for you in the form of your journey or your path. Someone who has a lot of experience will help you to get to the next step or the next stage of your career that you're seeking. Okay, we got the Page of Wands. So I feel for some of you, there's going to be some new inspiration or communication you get about an opportunity as it comes to the field that you're in. I definitely see this as a new opportunity. So some of you have a new opportunity. And it could be at a distance, or it is on the web where you can be anywhere and still get your work done. But for some of you too, I do feel like there's a distance travel trip at a faraway place. It could be in the Middle East, or somewhere where definitely it is warm, but there in something where there's a lot of history that you'll be discovering. You'll be discovering a new place, but this place could also be inspirational, and there's new like travel. For those of you in a creative field, you'll be very inspired through your travels, by what you see, by the encounters that you have. There will be and I do see a new friend or some type of communication association that you're going to make through work that will be somewhat significant and like kind of helping you, like someone who's come across your path to kind of point you in the right direction, or inspire you with something that you hadn't thought of before as it comes to progressing in your career. When it comes to your finances, and this just, well, no, there's two of them. When it comes to your finances, we have the Eight of Hearts, Moon energy, Eight of Cups energy with the Three of Swords. I feel like for some of you, this is you're gonna have to let go of an investment or walk away from some type of finance, some type like a source or stream of income. You're gonna have to let it go, and you're gonna have to walk away from it. And this could have to do with taking another opportunity somewhere else. Now, okay, with the Three of Swords, I feel for some of you, this is saying, and with the Moon energy, be mindful of your possessions and as well like your checks and balances, because you could experience some loss. Some of you could experience some type of buyer's remorse. You get into something and then you realize it wasn't worth the investment, or it's actually going to be costing you more than you expected to. Some of you just overall just may feel like you're not where you want to be financially, and that could just be a personal feeling for yourself. But there does seem to be some type of loss with this Three of Swords, potential loss or potential upset with your finances. And as well, it's going to be kind of like you don't know where it went, or you don't know what happened, and it might take some digging, some investigating with your accounts to see where some money is going. Also, like hidden expenses. Read your contracts thoroughly if you're signing any contracts. And this just jumped out. So we have the Nine of Cups here. That's clarifying this. Be careful with your indulgences, because again, it could be something where you get into a mode of, in your emotions and caught up in your emotions. Also be careful of like retail therapy or spending just to, because I feel just you're going to have regrets or buyer's remorse about that at a later time, where you're like, oh, I shouldn't have spent money on this, or like looking for instant gratification, but then once you get it, then you realize that it wasn't worth it. Something to this degree here. I feel like you may be in a space where you're stable and you're able to pay your bills, or you're living expensive, but as it comes to something that you want to do for yourself for pleasure, you just may have to discipline yourself, or just say that this is, it's not something that you could do at this time, or you have to put it off for some time. Also be careful of any betrayal. If you do lend someone money, don't lend more than you can afford to lose, because it's a possibility that you might not get it back. It's an interesting combination here. And move on to your emotional life here. We have the Ace of Diamonds, Ace of Pentacles with the World energy, and the Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Diamonds energy. So I feel like for some of you, there could be a connection at a distance that you've made, or are going to make in this fall season. And for some of you, this is more indication that you could meet, there could be a connection that you make through work. It's a new connection, and it could be happening while you're traveling with this World energy. You may work in the same field, or you may work together, or yeah, I am seeing for many of you Tauruses, with your focus being on work mainly, there definitely could be a connection that you make. Some of you could have a new beginning with someone to work things out. You may be agreeing to work out a situation, but there does seem to be some of you that are at a distance from who it is that you're working with. So for some of you, your emotional life, and two, with this being two diamond cards energies, I feel like your sense of security is what's going to keep you in your emotions in check, or your emotions stable. Your focus on your finances may just be something that's more important to you in this fall season than like the emotional side. And for some of you too, I feel like you're your partner's material status may just be something that is important to you. Okay, so we have this Eight of Wands here now. Yeah, definitely keep your eyes open when traveling, especially traveling for work. There does seem to be a new connection and attraction that comes through with the work connection here. I also just feel again like you guys are hardly gonna ever be like will hardly be home. Now, if you work from home, that's different. If you do work from home, I still feel that there's some type of connection going, like that could happen through work, and it could even be through the web or through the internet, where you start communicating and then you become very focused on each other. So there does seem to be a potential for Tauruses to make a connection in the fall season. I just feel again that it is going to be someone who is tied to your career, you work in the same field, or while in some type of connection when you're out working. Yeah. Yeah, some of you definitely need to change your surroundings, and that may be something that's in the process that you're like it's sinking in, that you're not feeling like you're settled. And stability is very important to you, Taurus. So if you don't feel settled where you are, there definitely could be something that's calling you elsewhere. Again, a path that you chose, you're going to be seeing it in a different perspective. Try not to dwell on regrets, just because just try to live in the present and do what you can to make the future more of what you want it to look like and feel like. Okay, so we have true love. Your wholeness and safety lie within, not from a partner. But this sovereignty actually leads to the deepest intimacy for you to stop using others. Let me stand on my own feet, dear Lord, and know true love. So yeah, this could be a time where Spirit is calling you to, whatever connections you've made prior to the fall, if they're not feeling like they're right for you, it's possible that they're not, and it's possible too that for many of you that you need to take some time alone and with yourself, and building your own sense of stability more, as to attract what is true love to you. Now, you don't have any cups or emotions in this in your emotional part. So what is true love to you, that maybe it's just be something that is changing. I'm feeling somewhat of an emotional disconnect energy from these cards, Taurus. So this just may be a season where again you're working on yourself, you're getting over past disappointments, surrendering to the experience of the path that you've chosen, but also realizing that you can change that and doing what you can to change that. If it's changing your living environment or your working environment, then I feel like that's something that will lead you. And others, I do feel like this is a lot of communication through like text and or social media apps. And some of you may make a new profile. You may actually put like work into like attracting a new partner by like going on some type of dating app with the World Wide Web. We have the world here. And you just may have a lot of suitors. You may have a lot of people who see you as someone of like, this is who I've been looking for. So so be on the lookout for that. If you're looking, if you put yourself out there, if you make a profile somewhere or go back on an app, or maybe you left it for a while and you're going to come back to it, there'll be a lot of messages. There'll be a lot of communication back and forth between you and someone in particular. I do feel like it's like a strong focus where you will be establishing some type of foundation that's firm and can grow into love, and can turn into your true love, especially if you do find the ease of communication good. I feel like for some of you too, there could be some of you were trying to make something work with, and you were like maybe culturally different or linguistically, like your mother language was not the same, and maybe you were trying to make it work, but then there's just so far it could go, and you may be seeing things differently in a sense. I feel like for some of you, there's a new beginning with someone who speaks your language, so to speak, and or literally and figuratively in a way where the communication flows a lot more, and you're able to maybe see that this is something that can build and grow if you remain persistent with it. But I do see consistent communication with someone over the fall season that establishes something that says to you, I can see a future with this person. Okay, so that is the messages I have for you, Taurus. Thank you so much for watching, and take care.